On est bon.
Dis-le avec moi.
Ok, bravo, tu prends la place de Alpha. Allez, davai. Allez.
Alpha.
Alpha à moi.
Alpha.
Ok,
Ah oui.
on rentre par l'entrée. Vous êtes prêts les gars? On prend la façade de droite là, c'est bon? Ah non mais il y a l'entrée, nickel. On prend l'entrée, c'est bon? Bravo à moi.
On participe à l'exercice polonais Dragon 24. C'est un exercice national polonais auquel certaines nations de l'OTAN, membres de l'OTAN, ont été invitées, la France en faisant partie. L'exercice consiste en 3 phases. Un déploiement logistique depuis la France, un déploiement technique et tactique sur le théâtre, qui s'est déroulé depuis notre arrivée le 21 février jusqu'à il y a 2 jours, dans lequel on a eu une phase de franchissement de coupure humide de la Vistule, une marche à l'ennemi de 300 km. Là, on attaque la dernière phase, qui est la phase de, on va dire, campagne de tir. Il y a un exercice de tir interarmé et interallié. La partie blindée, on ne l'a pas fait depuis 1996. Là, on le fait en interarmé et en multinational, donc c'est d'autant plus intéressant pour nous. Et d'un point de vue plus bas, à l'échelle de mon unité, ça permet de pousser nos engins dans leur retranchement. Faire 300 km d'affilée avec un char de bataille, c'est pas commun. On entre dans une nouvelle ère en fait. Jusqu'à maintenant, on était dans une ère d'assez basse intensité, où on avait un rapport de force qui était systématiquement à notre avantage. Aujourd'hui, avec le retour d'expérience des événements actuels partout dans le monde, on est entré dans une nouvelle phase où on va se concentrer sur la haute intensité. Au lieu d'avoir un combat du fort au faible, on va avoir un combat du fort au fort, avec les mêmes capacités technologiques, les mêmes structures, avec parfois où nous on va être mis en déséquilibre. Donc oui, ça se ressent dans nos entraînements et oui, on prend en compte tout le panel des menaces qui s'offrent, mais que ce soit depuis 2022 comme depuis 5 à 6 ans sur d'autres territoires.
Yeah, so Exercise Dragon, we brought the battalion. We are an infantry battalion, so we have 2 infantry companies with 1 armor company, which is tanks. And what we're doing here during this exercise is lots of things, starting with the Vistula River. We did a river crossing down at that town, and then we came up to here to do live fire training. So while we're here, we're doing a lot of interoperability training, learning how other nations in NATO fight, and then how we can fight together to be better as a organization. So everything we do, we fight as a team. We're never going to fight by ourselves, and having such a strong alliance that we have, and actually seeing all these nations being here is absolutely important for us to see how we can fight, how our equipment talks to each other, and how we work together. But it is absolutely important to fight as an alliance, and it's just been a great experience for everybody. So when training in the U.S., you're only with the other American units, so we understand the equipment. All of our equipment works together very well, but then when we come and train with all these different partners that we have, you have to get creative. How do we talk to each other? How do we communicate? How do we use their equipment? And how do we use our equipment to get the end state that we're looking at is just being a really good force and a really good alliance. The strongest military alliance, even today on the 25th anniversary of Poland joining NATO, being part of that ceremony today shows you how strong the bond is. And it does exactly what we're supposed to do. We're deterring aggression. We're here doing that, and then as we're doing that, the world knows how strong we are. So that alliance alone and NATO coming together and showing what we can do is absolutely important for the world and for Europe, absolutely.
My battle group is composed of different enforcement, not belonging on my command post, and 2 AFV companies coming from my regiment. But I'm also enforced with the 7th Armed Brigade, French Army, different elements, 1 Leclerc tank company, and also 1 combat engineers and some logistical enforcement. It's very important for the French land forces to work with the other NATO armies because it allowed us to discover new kind of terrain, east part of Europe. The French battle group embedded into Dragon 24 exercise is currently under the orders of the 10th Armed Brigade from Polish Army in close coordination with a German battalion and a Polish tank battalion. This kind of exercise and the anniversary of NATO is important because it's our common guarantee to maintain peace and safety in Europe, and it's also a good occasion for us to exchange about training, about our procedures, and to have a concrete, I would say, human and ground knowledge from each other. We find good opportunities to learn lessons from our Polish and US and German colleagues, because we discover some elements about the wet gap crossing, for example. We do also wet gap crossing in France, as you can imagine, but such a level of brigade. Since the beginning of the crisis in Ukraine, I think this kind of exercise are a bit more serious from the top to the private, because everyone understands that it's a key element and that we need to be ready to protect our territories and the territories of our allied on the eastern flank. And also the size of exercise has increased from the brigade to division level, and Dragon 24 is part of Steadfast Defender 24. That is the biggest exercise since the 80s in Europe.
Fire!
So lethal is the soldiers inside of it.
Since those are closer, if you look to your 1 o'clock and you actually see the targets about 2 or 3 football fields away from us, they're like a little silhouettes, so that is
Voilà.